We're looking at how children learn to subtract using a written method. We're going to assume that they are secure with number bonds involving addition and subtraction, both within 10, 210, 220 and within 20, so that they know that 15 and 5 makes 20, and they know that 20 take away 5 is 15, so they understand the inverse relationship between addition and subtraction, and they're confident and they have rapid recall. And we're going to assume that they're really confident with 3-digit place values, so they understand the relationship between ones and tens and hundreds in the base 10 system, and they've had lots of practice at partitioning numbers throughout year 3, so that they would know a number that's looking like this, so 2 hundreds, 2 tens and 8 ones can be written. They'll all be familiar with this, 228, but they need to be very confident that if you partition it into its component digits, that it would look like a 200 and a 20 and an 8. So you'll have done lots of practice just working with numbers, how they work, potentially multiplying them by 10 or adding 10, 10 more, 10 less. Lots and lots of practice at just making numbers, and they're really confident at it. And by the time that we get to year 4, the end of year 3, year 4, they're beginning to work with much greater numbers, but they've got a really sound and secure understanding of the base 10 place value system. So they know about this. So we're going to start teaching them how to use a written subtraction method, so that when they've got much more complicated numbers to deal with, and they're not able to do it mentally anymore, although lots of children who've got a secure understanding can go way beyond what we think they can with mental calculations. We're going to teach them a method, which means that they will be able to do it and break it down. So that's really only to be used for when they cannot do it mentally. And often what happens is teachers and schools move on to this method too quickly, and the children are not secure in mental arithmetic and understanding of mathematics, and it all starts to fall apart. So we'll have a look at how we start that process. And obviously we're going to teach them how to do it with very low numbers, but this doesn't mean that they should be doing this method with these low numbers. It's just teaching them the method. So, and we need to make that really clear to them. So if we start with a number like 36 and we're going to subtract 14, we'll put it in the place value columns like that. We'll put a line to show where we're going to put our answer, and it's quite a good practice actually to do a double line where your answer is. So with subtraction, you're actually starting with a larger number and you're taking something away from it. So you actually will never see those two numbers represented on the board like you did with addition, where you're starting with two smaller numbers and you're grouping them together to make a larger number. Subtraction is different, and I have seen teachers get confused at this point when they're trying to show children. So this is how you would do it. You would put your 3 tens in the tens column. You would put your 6 ones in the ones column, and let's put them in a numicon array, because remember we're always going to count in twos because it's more efficient and they will recognise the shape of it. So that's our 36, and what we're doing is we're removing 14 from this number, and they need to be very familiar with all the language that you can use around subtraction. So it might be an amount less than, it might be subtract, it might be minus, it might be take away, it might be remove. So we need to use that language interchangeably, because they will find that language in word problems. So we break it down into the digits that the number is made up of. That is a number, that is a digit. So we always start at the lowest value column, so which is our ones, and we ask a question. Can I do 6 take away 4? Or you can say, can I take 4 away from 6? And remember, and be aware that that's confusing the way we say it. So you might want to stick to one way to start with. Can I do 6 take away 4? So if I take away 4, the answer to that is yes, I've got enough to take away 4. So let's take them off. And I'm left with 2. Can I do 3 tens take away 1 10? Yes, I can take 1 10 away, and I'm left with 2 tens. The answer is 22. So that's your basic understanding of how you're removing things from your original number. Nice and straightforward. no exchanging is required. So let's look at the next step, which you need to choose your numbers carefully because we now need to exchange, but we only want to exchange in this and this column. So if I choose a number like 62, take away 14, I'm going to have to do some work here. So let's put our number 62 onto our board. So I need 6 tens and I've got my 2 ones. And we go back to asking the question, lowest value column first. Can I do 2 take away 4? Well, the answer is I don't have enough to take 4 away. So what I need to do is look into my tens column and exchange, and that's the key word. I need to exchange 1 10, and I'm going to exchange it for 10 ones, which I'm going to pop into there. So I'm going to take that off and I'm going to put 10 ones in my Numicon array. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'll just keep it separate for now so I can see my 10. And the way I would record that is that I have removed one of the 10s, so I leave it with 5. And I have put a 10 into the ones column, and if I put it there, the 110, it looks like 12, which is what I've got. It's important to point out that you're not borrowing anything or giving anything back, you are exchanging. And another word that I use is I'm rearranging my number. I've still got 62, but I've rearranged it so that I've got 5 tens and 12 ones, but I've still got 62 at this point. I haven't taken anything away yet. So I've rearranged my number by exchanging a 10 for ones. So now I can go back to my question. Can I do 12 take away 4? And the answer to that is now I have enough to remove 4. So there's my 4, I'll remove them and I've got 8 left. Can I do 5 tens, take away 1 10? Yes, I have enough. I take it away and I'm left with 4 tens. So I've got 48. So that's the language that where we introduce exchange and rearranging numbers. And this is what we call decomposition, because decomposition basically means changing the number. So what about if we get that tricky 0? Let's see how we would explain that. So if we have a number like 203, take away 85. Remember, we are only putting the top number on. So I need 200s. I've got no 10s and I have got 3 in the ones column. There they are. I go back to asking myself the same questions. I start here. I've got 3 ones, can I take away 5? The answer is no, I don't have enough. So I'm going to look into my next highest value column, but there's nothing there to exchange. So I've got to go to the next column. And so I'm going to exchange one of my hundreds for 10 tens. And I can prove that that's the same by stacking them up like that and proving to the children that I'm not changing the number, I'm rearranging it. So I've just rearranged or exchanged, 100 for 10 tens. So I can now put those there. And the way I would record that is this. I've exchanged 200s, I've left it with 1, and I've exchanged it for 10 tens. So you can see how you're recording it and what you're seeing. And now I can say I need to exchange one of these 10s for 10 ones. So I'm going to take that off and I'm going to put 10 ones, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I've rearranged my number so that I can subtract. I've still got 203. There they are, 200s there and 3, but I've rearranged the number. So I need to go back and leave 9 tens, which I've now got, and put the 10 ones in here. So I've still got 203. You need to prove that, because the minute children start seeing that, they're going to get confused. So you need to take your time and go back and count and check that you've still got your original number and that they understand why. And now we can do it. So can we say 13 take away 5? Yes, I can now remove or subtract 5 from the ones column and I'm left with 8. Can I do 9 take away 8? Yes, I can take 8 tens away and I'm going to be left with 1 10. Can I take nothing away from 100? Yes, it's still going to leave me with 100 because I don't need to remove anything. So my answer is 118. Let's check we've got it. 100, 110, 8 ones. And that needs a lot of practice.